Okay, this one's for all our designers out there that's working on structuring their responses for 15-mark exam questions, or if it's in your innovation case study. So I've popped some stuff up on the board already, and I'm going to try and guide you through how to structure your response. So the first thing is, and you'll only really see my hands in this demo and occasionally my face. Okay, there's my hand, right? There's my face, all right? Yes, you'll notice the mad holiday mohawk thing going and the stubble thing going on. This is the longest beard I've ever grown. Anyway, aside from that, the first thing you need to understand when answering a 15-mark question is your marking criteria. So this here, what I'm covering up, is an example of one of the questions you'll get. But you're always judged on these three things. Number one is how you demonstrate your knowledge and understanding of the content in the question, the relevance. That's a pretty obvious one, and that's going to be in your content in here, okay? Do you know what the question is asking you, and can you write about it? Bit of a no-brainer, but sometimes people can answer the wrong question because they don't understand what it's asking, or they might not understand the term, word definition, or something like that. Right? So number one, you need to know your content. Okay. Number two is how you're judged on how you communicate your ideas and information. In other words, the information that you've got in your head, how do you write that so that someone that is not listening to you or seeing you, that is reading what you put on paper, how do you communicate your ideas, your evaluation, and the information you know about a particular topic? Okay? It's through the use of relevant examples. Okay, so we're going to get to that part again soon. And then lastly, do you present a logical and cohesive response? In other words, does your couple of pages worth of writing actually make sense? Or is it just a whole lot of different ideas that you just plonk together in whatever random order? So on that note, I always suggest drawing up a tree or an idea of what you're going to write first. All right. Shout out to Chelsea Stewart from back in the day. Did this exceptionally well when preparing her exam responses. All right. Shout out Chelsea. Now, this here is an example of how I would plan a response to a question. All right. But let's go back to the question first up. Generally, your 15-mark questions are going to be something along these lines. Critically analyse the impact of something. And I'm using emerging technologies as an example. Critically analyse the impact of emerging technology on whatever. Okay? Now, let's just say our whatever might be a particular topic. It might be emerging technology on communication. I think that was pretty similar to the 2018 Design Tech question. Or it might be transportation. It might be distribution. It might be manufacturing. Whatever that is doesn't matter, all right? For now, but generally you've got to think of the impacts and you need to critically analyse. What's critically analyse? I've put it into a little picture format down here, okay? Plus, minuses, and eval, or your opinion, okay? So let's just say the example here is about critically analyse the impact of emerging technologies on transportation, okay? Let's just put that one out there. Now, when I'm thinking about structuring my response, if I'm going to have a logical and cohesive response, I'm going to have some sort of introduction that might be setting the table for what I'm about to say. It might sort of rephrase the question. It might lead me into a couple of the things about transport, something on the history of transport, how it's changed. But then I've got to get into, or I've got to segue and flow into my examples. Now, I'm putting 4 there. Okay, I think 4 is a really good number to use. So let's say here my examples, and if I'm just thinking off the top of my head, emerging tech and transport, well, some of the things we've got, transporting files might be through the use of 5G internet, or the Internet of Things is one thing that transports stuff. That might be example 1. Transportation example 2 might be drones. Drones can transport things, okay? Example number 3 might be self-driving cars. Okay. Example number 4 might be through the use of 3D printers and transporting objects, files that can be purchased and bought. So transporting a thing that can be made somewhere else. They might be my 4 examples. What I would then do for each of these, come up with 2 positives, 2 negatives. All right, so what was the first one? I've already forgotten. That might be the Internet of Things. Let's pick self-driving cars as the example. All right, some of the positive impacts of that particular emerging technology on transportation. Positives of self-driving cars is it can eliminate the risk of accident. Okay, so it can be better for humans. Cool. It might also improve efficiency for that particular workforce. Hey, you're not even needing to pay someone to drive the car, maybe. All right, if you know something's going to be more efficient, it's generally going to make you more money. Okay, I could come up with way more positives, but let's just say those 2 for now. What are the negatives of self-driving cars, emerging technology on transportation? Well, the negatives might be humans are out of a job. That's number 1. So what jobs would those people do? If they don't have a job and you're creating more unemployment, what do those people do that need money? Okay, that's something to think about. Another negative for self-driving cars might be the stigma. It might be society's lack of acceptance for an automated process. They want to trust humans more. Now, those are just the examples of the plus and minuses. There's my critiquing. But my evaluation after that would have to be, well, what do I think about that? And pose how that moves forward. Okay, so pose well through advertising campaigns and producing data that shows how effective self-driving cars may be. You're showing the community how safe they can be. You also might be able to incorporate in there that through the company's restructuring of former drivers might be channeled into other pathways for their work. All right. So your eval or your response to that is really, really key. Anyone can list stuff. If you're just listing things, you are not critically analysing it and you're going to get a handful of marks. All right. You really need to be able to come up with plus, minuses, and evaluate those examples. Okay. In your conclusion, you are drawing back to what you put in your intro and that question. Okay. You want to wrap it up with a final summary of, all right, well, what's my view? What do I think of emerging technology and how it's affecting transport right now? Right? Has it had a good, overarching, bad effect? But what is the projection into the future? What do you think the next step might be? Okay, move forward with what might happen next. Now, I won't put exact marks to this, but to try and help you think about this. This is worth 15 marks, okay? As long as you are demonstrating your knowledge and understanding and relevance of the question, okay, through your content, as long as you are writing it well because you're communicating your ideas and information with relevant examples, all right? And as long as your response is logical and cohesive and it flows, okay? Tick, tick, tick. All right, good. What that then means is, all right, let's say if we're putting it in terms of marks, if your intro and conclusion are really well written, okay, that might be worth, let's just say, let's put an asterisk or something. All right, that might be worth, say, 3 marks, 3 or 4 marks, okay? If your examples are really good with their positives, really good with their negatives, really good with your evaluation, okay, these might be worth 3 to 4 stars, okay? Now, if you start adding these up, there's 3, there's 3, there's 3, there's 3, there's 3, 5 times 3 is 15. It becomes reasonably easy to understand where you're going to get marks in response to this question. And the good thing is, when you look at past questions, there's a lot of similarity in how to structure them. It's just that sometimes these words might change. Okay, so when you're reading that question, you really need to be able to filter out the stuff you don't need to know about and understand the key stuff of what the question's asking you. And okay, so now how do I answer it? Now my strongest students in the past, actually most of my students, are really good at, when they see that question, they can decode it really quickly and can just write because they know the examples. And a lot of those examples are the videos and the references we show towards the end of the course where you're making your own opinion from watching short little videos on drones and all sorts of weird, cool nanotechnology and all that cool stuff. So, has that made wanting to actually write essays exciting? I hope so. Next time.